It's rare when a manufacturer as well known as Marantz introduces a new flagship product. Today, we're celebrating the Marantz Cinema 30, the finest audio-video receiver that Marantz has ever built. Is it the right one for you? Let's find out. I'm Joe with Gramophone. Let's dig in. So let's say right out of the gate, this Cinema 30 receiver sounds amazing. And in combination with an appropriate speaker package for your home that the experts at Gramophone can recommend to you, it's literally kind of like bringing the cinema home with you. Now, your local cinema might sound even a little bit better than this, but remember that when you go to the movies, that experience is over that evening. With this investment, 365 days a year, you can listen to your favorite music, movies, even the sound of the announcer's voice on the evening news or the basketball game is going to sound a lot more like a real human being's voice. The performance level of here is outstanding. So let's give a quick overview of Cinema 30. The most powerful receiver that they've ever done. It's 11 channels of power and 13.4 channels total of processing power if you want to hook up additional external amplifiers. It's got 7 HDMI inputs, all of which are HDMI 2.1, so they'll do 8K. It's got the ability to handle virtually any of the music and movie formats that are out there these days. It'll pretty much handle anything you can throw at it. A big benefit of the Cinema 30 is its massive processing power and the full suite of room correction capability it's got between Audizy and Dirac Live options. Why is that important? We're right now filming in the loft area of the Gramophone Timonium store, where we've got brick walls and so forth that are mimicking what an actual loft living room, let's say, would be like. The truth is, and you can probably hear it in my voice right now versus how it sounded when we were filming next door, every room, including the room in your home where you're going to set up your home theater, every room has a big influence on the sound, and generally it's a negative influence. But with big-time processing power, and again, the Audizy and Dirac Live suite of room correction that's available to you, you can take the effect of the room and minimize it, have a truly calibrated room, so that when you're watching movies, when you're listening to your favorite music, you're getting what the producer of the movie or the musicians and their producer of the records originally intended for you to hear. A big win, because it sounds great in your home, not just in the showroom. Let's talk ease of use. At Gramophone, we're very impressed with how easy Marantz products are to use, both in terms of your daily use, but even setup. If you wind up setting this up yourself, you will love their app. It's a very simple app to use. They also have a wonderful on-screen GUI that works in conjunction with the remote. So if you just connect the output of the receiver to your TV, their on-screen wizard will literally walk you through the steps of what you need to do to be able to get everything connected correctly. Ease of use, big thumbs up to Cinema 30. We think the Cinema 30 looks about as good as any receiver that's out there. They've done something pretty clever. Put the volume control and the selector switch in between this very simple little LCD readout, and they've got a much more fully functional readout that's concealed under the flip-down lid. So you get this combination of all the ability to control things that you want, combined with, once you're done, this very clean and simple look. They've also put a couple of backlights here on either side of the main front panel, and those are dimmable if you want to reduce the light output just a little bit. We think it winds up looking about as cool as a receiver can look. It's also available, by the way, in a classic black or in a wonderful silver gold combination that looks really nice. Now, we mentioned earlier that you've got massive connectivity options on the back of this receiver. So let's just kind of walk through it and take a look at what you've got. First off, of course, a couple of Bluetooth antennas so you can use your Bluetooth devices. We've got coax and Toslink inputs for legacy video components, that sort of thing. You've got a network connection here. Here you've got the 7 HDMI inputs, and as we said, all of them are 2.1, so all can handle 8K, and that means you're future ready. You can already see that there's a ton of connectivity back here. You've also got twin HDMI outputs flanking a really useful feature. It's got the eARC connection here. That's going to make your television sound terrific. Now you've got some legacy video connections here, and even something we rarely see nowadays, legacy component input for video. Taking a step down here, antenna connections. There's a USB connection, but that's power only. There is another USB connection on the front if you want to connect, a USB device to the front panel. You can do that. Are you a vinyl lover? You can actually connect your turntable straight into this without the need for a separate phono preamp, assuming it's a moving magnet phono cartridge, or into one of the many aux connections. You could connect a phono preamp if you're using moving coil. Zone 2 and Zone 3. You've got 11 amp channels on this bad boy, but you can actually assign the channels if you want. So take an example where you've got, let's say, an existing 7-channel system, 3 across the front, sides, back. You're going to add 2 more channels with height channels. Now it's a 9.1, 2, 3, or 4. Well, that leaves 2 channels left over. You can assign those channels to another zone. Let's say feeding a pair of speakers that are on your kitchen countertop, or maybe a small pair of tower speakers flanking your dresser up in the bedroom, something like that. So that assignability is actually a really good thing. You've got all the outputs in case you want to go to a more powerful amplifier. So again, you've got a lot of power on board here, but the outputs give you even more flexibility if you want to, let's say, hook up a 5-channel amplifier that's 200 watts per side or something like that. You've got a nice feature here in the 12-volt triggers. You might be using independent amplifiers, a 2-channel amp or 5 or 7-channel amp, that sort of thing. Well, every time you turn on the Marantz receiver, it can turn on that independent amplifier with the 12-volt trigger. You might have an infrared control system if this is, let's say, behind a cabinet where you wouldn't be able to pass the signals through. So you've got an IR flasher connection there and 2 more connections for remote control systems, plus an RS-232 connection if you are using, let's say, a big control system that's going to be controlled with RS-232. One nice feature that we like to see all the way over here, of course, is the IEC socket for power. They put a beefy cable in, but you can use an upgraded power cable if you wish. And then, of course, down here, all the amplifier channels, which, again, as we've discussed, are assignable. Let's talk processing power, one of the secret weapons of the Cinema 30. Marantz has used the ESS Sabre 32-bit DAC chips, which have full jitter reduction capability. They've built a lot of processing power into this, and we would say it's really closer to their AV10, their separate preamp processor, their finest preamp processor, than it is to the SR8015 that it's replacing. All that processing power means what for you? Well, number one, it's compatible with virtually any format that's out there in terms of audio, video, soundtracks, and so forth. But the second benefit to the processing power is it will just make your music and movies sound incredible. At Gramophone, we really appreciate your support. So if you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe and click that little bell icon so that you're always notified of our upcoming content. Let's talk about the Marantz 70% power guarantee. So we mentioned earlier that into a 2-channel load at 8 ohms, with less than 0.5% distortion, Marantz rates this at 140 watts per channel. Obviously, the more channels you're driving, the less power you're going to have available just for those 2 channels. But Marantz offers something they call the 70% power guarantee. So across 5 channels, they'll guarantee that you're still getting at least 70% of the rated power into 2 channels, or roughly 100 watts per channel into 5. Of course, if you want to add power, we've already seen that you've got pre-outs to be able to add additional power amplifiers if you'd like. This is a big feature too. You can custom tune the Cinema 30, and therefore your entire AV system, to your room by using the Audeze system, which is Audeze Multi-EQ XT32 room correction. This is a big, big advantage, simply because, as we said earlier, every room has an influence on the sound, oftentimes a negative influence. With powerful tools like this and the included calibrated microphone that they provide for you, you can take that influence of the room back out. Now let's talk about a really big upgrade from the previous top-of-the-line Marantz receiver, the SR8015. In the Cinema 30, Marantz offers the ability to upgrade either when you purchase the receiver or later on down the road to full Dirac Live control, including Dirac Live bass control. Now, in combination with the processing power that we talked about earlier, and the fact that you have 4 completely independently controllable subwoofer outputs, means that you can get in your living room, not just in the showroom where you auditioned, but in your room, in your home, a tremendous sound result because you're taking the effect of the room out of the equation. Included among its other charms is a new technology from DTS called DTSX Pro. Now what that offers versus the initial DTX is a wider, more immersive sound field regardless of the number of channels that you're using. So whether you're in a 5.2 or a 7.2 or, the full 13.2, in any case, DTSX Pro will give you a more immersive experience across a wider range of seats. And DTSX Pro can actually offer up to 12 discrete channels. So that's a nice upgrade as well. Let's talk about some additional control options. We talked earlier about Bluetooth control. Well, this receiver supports late night headphone listening. So you're trying not to disturb anybody else in the home, but you still want to enjoy your music. You can do that. Additionally, it offers voice control for Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant. So you're covered with voice control. Marantz has touched a lot of bases with this flagship Cinema 30, the best receiver that they've ever built. It retails for $4,500 USD in the spring of 2024. That may be more than what your budget allows. Well, the Cinema 40 and Cinema 50 are both excellent options. But remember, too, that compared to a lot of the high-end separates that are on the market, this has an awful lot of the same features, benefits, and quality of construction that you would get there, but at $4,500, you will pay a lot less. At Gramophone, we think Marantz has knocked it out of the park with this product, and we really look forward to playing it for you. To learn more about Marantz and all of our fine brands, visit Gramophone.com. To pick up yours, shop Sky by Gramophone, where you'll always get a secure checkout with fast and free shipping straight to your door. And we'd love to meet you. If you can, please come visit us at our showrooms in Timonium, Columbia, and Gaithersburg, Maryland. If you come to the Timonium store where we're filming today, you'll also want to check out the Experience Center, where you will see some amazing products in an amazing setting. And remember to check out our Kitchen Design Center as well up in Hunt Valley. Thank you for watching this video. We look forward to seeing you soon.